Hey everybody, welcome to the Women's Health Podcast. We have Tony, Marabella, Dulce, Lisa, and I am Sky, and we are all raw foodists, and we heal ourselves with raw foods, and now we look after ourselves with raw foods and our hormones. So welcome, guys.
Hello, Sky.
Oh, I am so excited for this one because we are talking about what we've learned in 2025 about our hormones, and we're all in different stages with our hormone health. And we've got people here who are still cycling. I think most people are, and then we've got people in menopause, and then I'm in. I've had surgical menopause, so we've all had different experiences. And we're going to talk about what we learned in 2025 and what we'll be doing for our hormone health in 2026. So let's get started. Tony, do you want to start with what you learned in 2025 about your hormones and women's health? And
I had a feeling I would go first, and I was like, it'd be nice just to relax and listen first. I've been woke up, it's like 7 a.m. here, so I've been up. Well, I took the dog out, and yes, hello, thank you. What a year 2025 was. If everyone felt it, I felt there was still a lot of intensity, and it was the snake year, so a lot of shedding, a lot of rearranging in my life, and I was going through a lot of exhaustion, but it wasn't necessarily from the lifestyle. I do feel those shifts in my hormones. I mean, I'm 40, coming up to 41 in April. Something was shifting, and a lot of stripping, like I say, stripping away and seeing what was working, what wasn't. So we do, I've noticed a difference. We can, and we talked about it before, about fixating on a certain way. I was high pretty much fruit for a long time, and I brought in some fats, but couldn't quite make it because I really loved the sweet, especially in the daytime. So for me, I really enjoyed the smoothie balls, but I was like, how can I put fats in? The fats and fruits don't agree with me. And then only towards like the end of the year, I really played with and understood more about the omega-3s, and I could mix them more. So that was a big shift for me last year, and that started to shift a lot deep in this year. And just bringing in more herbs, like I didn't really have, I stripped a lot. And to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to bring some things back in. So yeah, although we're always learning and shifting and changing, last year was a lot of detoxing, and I'm bringing in this year, just to merge the two into one, is more on nourishing this year, deeper nourishing and building. Rebuilding my body. I had a lot of rest, really looking at my nervous system, in a lot of survival, a lot of fear just in life, in my personal life. So this year I'm really embracing more fats to just nourish me, and herbs. Really brought in a lot of herbal teas, which has been really soothing for me, and especially nettle tea, dandelion, and experimenting with all these different teas that because I was never really a tea person. I'm not a typical British who loves their teas. I was never into teas, not into coffee, nothing. So I was bringing in, more to the end of the year, a lot of this, soothing, comforting in that way. And it's been working for me right now. And it's, I feel like I'm in the experimental, so forever learning, but I'm definitely more open to changing and tweaking things. So I'd say for anybody on this path, just explore. And because I've been fruitarian I was many years fruitarian, and then high fruit, and now I really enjoy my greens. I really enjoy still a lot of fruit, definitely in the daytime. I love starting or beginning of my day with fruits, and not so many mixtures, but with my salads and green juices, I'm bringing more in, but definitely the flax seeds for me. I can't get the hemp here in Thailand, but the hemp seeds I would love, Sky. I'm putting it still out there. You bring me some over in April.
I will, and any other requests. I can bring hemp is good.
So, and I've learned a lot about, because I was really cautious with the flax seeds because of the way they're stored, and especially here in the heat. So I was very anxious at first, but after speaking to a lot of people here and making, I've got some skills now in smelling the seeds, seeing if they've been broken, tampered with, and how they're stored. So I've been going organic and been with the suppliers, so I trust them. Being, and you know, like doing my research. So yeah, this year, nourish. It's all about nourishing for me, and really listening to my body on a deeper level that I never thought. Like this safety thing is coming up a lot for me. Like I said, now I'm not using, and for many years, food to numb and distract and escape. I'm really feeling it all, and it's all coming up, and like I'm having another wave at the moment of intensity. And I'm in my menstrual cycle now, but it feels much more safer than it usually has been. So more grounding, more nourishing. I feel restoration is my key word for this year. Restoration and building my body, because I've been doing a lot of calisthenics, but more like slow moves, calisthenics and yoga. I've been really bringing into a lot of primal movement, just more movement, slower pace into my daily activities. And I just, instead of intensity, hardcore running, no running anymore at the moment, and high energy impact classes. I was always that high impact, but last year was cutting everything out pretty much, bare bones, detoxing. This year is really rebuilding and getting back into building some strength in my body, feeling good already in that side. So that's my insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, before anyone else has questions, I have a couple of questions. I was wondering what teas you're using and what benefits you find. And also I wanted to ask you just about how you, because I know in the tropics it can be harder. Well, when I guess as a traveler, when I've been to somewhere like Bali, it was harder to find seeds and greens and veggies. And just if you could touch on what that's like for you in the tropics, because, you know, you're wanting these things. Do you just know where to go, or are there, you know, when you got there, it was harder? I'm not sure in Thailand. I just know my experience when I was in Bali.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's quite easy, to be honest. When you are ready and when you're settled as well, you know people, you're connecting, you're speaking to people. Where's the good stuff? No, it's really easy. The teas are very plentiful. I'm even looking at what the teas are growing out in my garden, the leaves, because I really want to learn. That's this year as well. I'm going to learn about the environment, my own environment, because I've got fruit trees, I've got cashew nuts, papayas, lots of fruits, and there's a lot of herbs out there. So that's my mission this year. So hopefully on the next one I can share what I found. But nettle's been the biggest one for my blood, and I do feel it's calming me. And like dandelion, very calming, and chamomile. Good for the blood, good for the iron. I did drop. So my B12 and iron is being spot on, but last year it really dropped low. So I did get the B12 shots, injections, and that really changed for me. So it was the first time in like 15 years, because prior vegan, I was always ironed. I was always tired, but I used to push my body I was a high impact girl. I used to teach all the classes, spin, body combat, all these high intensity classes. And I was still falling into that pretty much here in Thailand, but not as much. But I just noticed last year, and I feel it was energetically, emotionally, and then maybe because of my body's changing. I just started, every year I get my bloods done, and it was, extremely low for the first time, like how I was prior vegan. So end of last year I did, because it's always the end of the year I get checked. And my B12, and it was more like, I think was it November time? So that's all improved. Because I've noticed a difference already in my energy. And just because I'm moving through some heavy things in my life as well, I did have the support of the food, but I also been really supporting myself in how emotionally I am, with some of my, my personal challenges. That's what I'm up to right now with I'm just supporting my blood, my B12, definitely the injections. So what I'm going to do is take a little break for a while from the B12 and the iron, and then I'm going to recheck. It's something I'll maybe continue to do. We'll see. I'm going to I'm one of those, I'm trying to find it from food, but I'm happy to continue if it's supporting me. The B12 injections, I was never against them. I just never needed them. It was never part of my journey. So now it's shifting. Like I said, it just just check on things, check in with your body. I'm very self-aware. I'm always, tuning in, meditating, and just, not fixed on one thing. I think there's a place where I had all of that. It was like when I first went when I was going towards raw vegan, I was smashing in the fruits because I was a binge eater. I was a massive binge eater. I was always comfort eating like large amounts of food. Now my appetite's very balanced now. I don't binge anymore. I don't eat like excessively to avoid my emotions. But there was a place for that, eating a lot of like a big smooth, like I was following the Raw Till 4 for many years with the big smoothies, the bananas, and that had its place. I loved that time. That was a lot of healing for me. It got me off all the chocolate, all of the other rubbish. I was eating like a lot of fruit, and that's why now I know I need fruit. I love fruit because that gives me the satisfaction for sweetness. But I do enjoy my savory. So yeah, with the greens, it's accessible. I mean, we grow certain things here, like there's Thai basil. There is still greens and herbs we can. There's a lot of access. So and there's organic farms and close by to me. I try and go as much as organic as I can, especially on the greens. But even the supermarkets, there's all different greens you can get there. I'm really into doing like celery's imported. So we do get a few things that are imported, like celery. What else do I? I pretty much go for the same things, and the spinach, but not so much these days with the spinach. Yeah, I play around. I feel I've got this green powder that my friend gave me. I'm going to try it. I don't know too much, but he's quite like he looks for things. He's quite detailed what he takes, and it looks like a good combo of a lot of things. I need to check that and actually use it. So yeah, I'm gonna experiment more with different greens that are locally grow here.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have questions for Tony?
I kind of wanted to ask what you're doing to cultivate that feeling of safety.
Good question. Very good question. I've been really because I'm in this space at the moment where things are a little heightened. So it's like I'm just at this breath work. I'm doing a lot of breath work. I've been doing a few sessions at my local. There's a vegan place here that offers weekly breathwork sessions, so group sessions, and also grounding. Like for me, going to the beach, I've been crying nearly every morning. Hormonal, I know it's but it's amplified. It's there. It's just amplifying what I'm already feeling, and just really taking and not overthinking what type of breath. Because there's different ways you can do breath work and how you breathe, but just in for 4 and really my breathing out. So I'm experimenting with different breaths, different ways we can do the breathing, but also saying that, talking to myself, getting over, grief, knowing this grief is normal. It's a human experience. So I'm saying a lot of affirmations of safety and that I am loved. When I'm in it, I'm okay. I'm just saying I'm okay. And it's okay to feel these feelings as well, not saying it's wrong, not putting, because sometimes we're like, what is wrong with me? Why is it? And I've noticed the pattern because I have a period app. It's so much more amplified, or it's just intense when it's this time of the month. So I'm just knowing it's temporary, reminding myself. And I'm so glad I'm monitoring and tracking, because it's more intense at this time. And often it's only this sort of time that I'm actually saying things of, I'm actually having to do a little bit more for myself, because I do a lot of self-care rituals, a lot. I'm really big on taking care of myself, because then everyone else benefits. The dogs benefit. They want a nice, calm soul, they want that calm environment. That's why because everyone's always shocked, why are your dogs so well behaved? Even new dogs that come into the space who have been traumatized, they've had a lot of neglect, abandonment, cruelty. They come in and they just feel so safe. So I've created a really nice, my whole environment is very, I'm conscious of how not like worried, but just more of like, this space is for healing, for soothing, for nurturing. And I feel that everyone feels it when they come, and the animals do. So yeah, just been doing my rituals. I think that's the most for me. I like to have disciplines in place. I feel they're important for me. My bookends of the day, I think I've shared before. I'm always out at the beach. I'm grounding. Yeah, breath work's been a big one for me, really. I didn't realize how sometimes I'm in this not breathing and panic. And I'm just slowing my breath and just bringing, even sometimes, you know, when I'm in really deep fear, there's that 5, 4, 3, 5 things that you can see. So when I'm really in panic and worry, I'm like, okay, bring me back to the present, bring me back to the moment. 5 things I can see outside. These 4 things I can see, and 3 things I can feel. So I'm touching. So it just brings me back to right now, because your mind, it's good to acknowledge that your mind's going. But now I'm seeing it more. When I've done that practice, I'm more of the observer. I'm like, okay, you're going into freak out, you're going into panic. So safety has been, I would say, a big theme for me over the years. And I seem to be more safe when I'm in a partnership. I've noticed that pattern. My diaries, I was looking for my diaries the other day. So partnership seems to really give me that sense of safety, but I know I can create that within. And there is, and I'm just going through a rocky period now for a few changes. So I know that is temporary, and I'm just reminding myself just to be kind to what would I say to clients? What do I say to my animals, my friends? Just be kind, just be gentle, you know. It's okay, you know, and just be in this moment.
Oh, love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for sharing.
Does anyone else have questions for Tony?
No, I just think that she's doing amazing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Marabella, do you want to tell us about your hormone health in 2025 and what you're doing in 2026?
Yes. So 2025, when I started out the year, I definitely had goals and I had things that I was going to do. And then I had 3 really personal, like, downfalls. I would say downfalls. And I feel like this community, having this community of ours, is what keeps me together sometimes, because I don't have vegans or raw vegans in my life. You know, like on a day-to-day basis, no family or friends, everyone is asking questions now, and they want me to share more. So for 2026, I'm definitely going to share more. But this community is what keeps me going, because after, like, different triggers came about, like I went to a wedding and I went back to where I used to live, and I haven't had coffee in, I mean, it's been years, but I didn't have coffee then, but I was triggered. Even though I make coffee for my husband every day and it smells really good and I like it, I'm not triggered at home. But when I went back to Seattle, I was. And so it was like, okay, you know, I'm high raw now, but I'm still vegan. You know, I'm still going forward, and this community keeps me reaching up. Like, I know where I want to be, and I know, like, I can get there. Like, it's doable because I have such support. And you guys are so amazing. And just seeing your, like, connecting with you or chatting or showing up for a live keeping me moving forward, where if I didn't have this, it would be easy for me to, like, fall back maybe. And so another thing that, well, Tony mentioned that safety, feeling secure. And I think the high raw, because there was like a couple of other things that happened besides going to that wedding. My son was in a car accident, but he didn't get hurt, thank goodness. But when I went to get all his belongings from his car, I saw the damage, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could have happened to him. So for like a week, I felt like I was mourning, even though he was still alive. It was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And so just, I would want to feel so cozy. So, or I guess, like, at night, I wanted to feel secure and safe. So I would have the high raw. And so just through a conversation with another raw vegan, I was like, well, what can I do to feel that but stay raw? And that was to like cuddle in my warm blanket and maybe drink some hot tea.
Oh, yeah, you have it.
Start snuggling.
It's a heated blanket too.
Yes. Oh, I
Oh.
love my heated blankets.
Oh, I
have
need
one in
that.
the bedroom, one in the living room. I would have one like right here, probably, if I had more electrical cords, like plugins. But that really helps. So just having the group, having someone to hold myself accountable to, and then like asking the question, okay, yeah, this is what I want. I want this pizza. How can I make it raw? So I did make like raw vegan pizza, and it was so satisfying and so good. And then I realized, yeah, it feels so good. And then I have a story to share. And so since last year I had these goals, and what happened is I wrote them down, and then I lost the goals. And then I just was like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow, like for my highest and best. And that's what I did. And so I started adding like I would watch Sky, and she would have the flaxseed, the chia seed. So I concocted this smoothie for myself that was changeable. So like I have this habit of having something, having it, and then I'm done. Like I never look at it for like months later because I'm over it. But this is something that I can interchange with like coconut water, or I can change the fruits in there. I can change the proteins. Like if I want to do a nut butter or not, it can be light. It can be, so I can have this smoothie the ever-changing smoothie that I can fall back on if I'm so hungry that I don't know what to do with myself. And I try to plan, but like that was my thing for the first couple of years of raw. Make sure you have a plan, And then life just got so like chaotic that sometimes I couldn't have a plan. I would just have to like go in the moment. And so then it was that trust that would come in. Like, I'm just trusting Spirit's going to take care of my food. There was like a Bible verse that says you don't have to worry about what you eat. So I would just go with that. I don't have to worry about what I eat. Things would just appear. We have a really good friend that would just drop over produce, like all these greens. And it just so happened to be in this space where I was like all green last year. I could not get enough greens. I even bought powdered greens to put in my smoothie to have. Like it was so like deliciously green. And so I kind of learned to trust last year. And that no matter whatever I'm going through, and I also lost my dog last year. When I lost her, I lost my appetite. I didn't want to eat. And then everything like fell off for a minute. Like my hormones were a wreck. My mental was a wreck. I was just a wreck. And so, but I knew in my head, I have you guys. So I know I'm going to come back. Like I want to come back strong. So I will. I'm going to just rest for a minute, and then I'm going to come back. And so little by little, just maybe like, I wouldn't know what to eat, but I would go to the store and I would see, oh, these apples, they look so good. I'm going to get the apples. Or, because I was shopping for my family too. So I'm buying all this stuff over here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. How am I going to even know what to fix for them, let alone fix for myself? But when I'd go to the store and there would be these apples, I'm like, yeah, they're so delicious looking, so pretty. I'm going to buy those. Or the grapes. I would just like, oh, I want the grapes. As soon as I saw the food, then I was like, oh yeah, I want the grapes. I want red peppers. I want this, I want that. And then it all just came together. So it was like just about trusting, just kind of going with the flow. And then after trusting and then eating what looked good and then starting to feel better and then having that ever-changing smoothie that I could make however I wanted to with whatever I have, everything can go in it. It could be a smoothie. It could be like a smoothie bowl. Then I have that always that I can just grab. I always have frozen fruit or whatever. So it was the community for me to keep me reaching for greater and to see what is possible, I feel like. Whereas before, I might have fallen off and then come back to it. And then, but this way, I didn't fall off. You know, I don't want to say that I stepped back with Hira. I just want to say I was giving myself what I needed in that moment. And then when I saw that I could do something different, then I did that something different. And then it was discovering, you know, discovering that trust of, you know, go to the store, what you need will be there, like trusting. And finding the comfort in other ways, you know, like the blanket, the tea. I found hibiscus tea and started having that. And that was such a delight just for my senses. So smells so good, looks so good. And I'm very much attracted to, like, food has to look good. It has to like smell good, all the things. I like to plate it nicely, have a nice glass. All those things make me so happy. And let's see. Oh, the sea moss, discovering the sea moss was so good. Energy wise, my belly I felt like I was bloated. I'm not bloated anymore. And what else? I think that's it.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to ask, because you've spoken about this on the podcast before, because I know you are on hormone replacement
Yes.
therapy and in menopause. And because I have been in menopause a while, and I'm interested to know, do you find over the years now, because for me, it's, you know, you go into menopause and you're not cyclic anymore, and we're not going through perimenopause. Is everything more consistent? Do you find over the years that who you are and what's going on, or are you finding that you're still affected by not so much your cycle, but you can feel that the hormones, whether having them or just your life, is being affected by hormones at all?
Yeah, so I do still have a cycle.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
I would kind of say perimenopause, but probably on the later end of it, like getting closer to it ending, but I still have cycles. Sure. And as my cycles are probably running out, I do feel like more calm, less ups and downs for sure. And I do feel when I'm all raw is when I do feel my best with my cycle, for sure. If I eat, you know, high raw, then I do feel a little more, like, feel the ups and downs more, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So as time goes on, I feel better and better and better in my cycle.
Oh, that's good. And what are you focusing on in 2026 with what you've learned in 2025?
I want to share more. I feel like
I
that's
love
what I'm gonna focus on,
that.
like sharing, because I really feel people are starting to ask questions, and they're my family is asking more questions. Like today, I met my sister-in-law for breakfast, and I remembered her asking me to make her green juice for her birthday. Like, I made a big thing of green juice this morning, and I brought it to her, and she was really, really, really excited to have it. And she's like, "You remembered." I actually wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. But so many people are asking questions, and even family. And my sister-in-law said today that she channeled me. She said she's been having carrots and celery for breakfast just to see how it would feel in her body. And so I was so excited. I'm like, that's great. That's what you do. Like, try it and see how you feel. And so I was able to share. So I feel like it's time for me to share more with, you know, my community, with everyone. So that's what I'm going to be working on in 2026, is sharing more. And part of that is doing the bundle, and we go to, like, you know, advertise it, and people are asking people that I wouldn't think that would care or wouldn't even have anything to do with raw. They're like, "Oh, you know, tell me about, you know, what you're doing or what's going on." And I'm like, right now I'm writing. I said I'm writing for the raw food bundle. I'm creating an ebook, and they're like super interested. And I wouldn't think, normally I wouldn't like speak that out, but it just seems to flow out naturally. And everyone that I talk to is so curious about it. So I think it's time to like step up a level in sharing.
Oh. Does anybody else have any questions for Marabella?
Just that you're amazing.
You are.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm so happy that it's working out for you, and people are noticing, so that's why they're asking. And
Yeah.
and yeah, it's time
But-
to share more.
It's the
Thank you.
horse year, so use it, that momentum, that sharing, get that momentum going. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, Dulce, do you want to share about your hormones in 2025 and 2026?
Sure. Well, it was a lot of learning, like in a deeper way for me. And I already experienced like the detox, like this February and on this birthday, it was my 4 year being vegan. And in the beginning, I started learning as much as I could, and then detoxing and doing all the things that I was feeling called to, and reverse different incoherence that I was experiencing in my body and symptoms. There was a lot of symptoms back then, and especially after the vaccine injury. And this year, I had to experience and to learn more from the emotional part that I thought that I was already like processed or healed. But when it comes to being a mother and having different situations in my life where I had to have less time with them, it just broke my heart. And all that emotional stuff, like the body keeps the score. And for more than you're eating healthy and you're if you're not addressing those emotions, they're gonna come out in any way. And so I had to learn the hard way that like a reminder to slow down, to feel, to express, to release, to like perfect snake year, to shred a lot, but a lot, and just navigating into regulating my nervous system again, and yeah, the safety that you're looking for or that you are experiencing are uh, still kind of like reprogramming from the childhood and everything that you have on those beliefs that are were making me feel the situation that I was experiencing in another level just because of those beliefs. So whenever you are releasing and working on yourself and doing breath work and all the practices that you have incorporated and you know that work for you, but you actually make the time to pause and okay, let's do it again and ground again, and and just stop and take care of yourself again, and love yourself even more, and release those beliefs so you can actually heal and feel those emotions. um, that's where okay, I had to do some steps back and do blood tests and like okay, let's go and check like this is my body, this is what it's telling me. Half of my face was paralyzed, and then I said okay, I have to know what's in my blood, what's happening in my body, what's like I already knew based on those things. Like there was a it wasn't like flowing my energy the way that I was used to because of all these situations in my personal life. And even though that I was working on them, um, you have to know what's going on inside your body and just get a test and don't be guessing and know how you can support it, um, and just go straight to the roots and just know more. Okay, this is my intuition, what my intuition is telling me. this is what it's showing me. So okay, let's just focus more on those things and empower yourself with the knowledge of, okay, you can listen to your body, but at the same time it's just integrating everything. And it just felt like I had to learn even more so I can help others and 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 start regulating even more my nervous system, and then just going into um, another kind of protocol of more more holistic aspect, but at the same time with the science telling me, okay, yeah, you are your minerals are low because I wasn't eating enough, because I got into this mm, kind of disconnection and depression because of all of those emotions that I was suppressing. But I didn't feel like I was suppressing it, but it was just like so heartbroken for me that there was nothing in my control that I can do, but my mindset, it was all about it. So I had to have a different perspective about it and take control of it, just by going into have health and just go from there, and to be present, and then everything will come along and start aligning, and it happened like that. So I incorporated more minerals. I stopped for a moment or for some months because I was super clean on my way of eating, that I feel like the nourishment wasn't enough. Just because it's not that it wasn't the raw food, it's just that I wasn't eating enough because I was getting busy, and like I wasn't doing it properly. So I incorporated more calories and more minerals and iron as well. But I know that the iron, it's based on the lack of copper and zinc. So I had to incorporate that, and also checking if there was heavy metals high, or what's going on, and if my elimination pathways were really open. And it's just this lack of circulation of my energy, based on the emotions. And I incorporated the traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture, and just learning more and embodying it. And I have to do my second lab test just to compare, but I feel way better. And and my facial paralysis, it was reversed in less than 3 weeks on raw foods. And I started incorporating mm, more chickpeas, sprouted chickpeas. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna care if they're cooked. So I incorporated a little bit on the salads, and it just felt right to me. And the herbs were helping me a lot. So it just felt that I was doing the right thing, and people were telling me, and my energy was coming back. And but you get kind of like, if you let the fear, or if you're not expressing those emotions, if you're not releasing, then I feel like you can be consumed by them. um, so it came like a perfect storm for me during that period of time, just to make sure that I was learning the right way. And yeah, I added the daily green boost. I added different supplements, but basically it was the shilajit, um, herbs, tinctures, and the traditional Chinese medicine movement. I said, okay, I'm not gonna go. I was doing sauna, but I wasn't working out because I was all the time I was working out in the sauna. So I said, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna let my body like take back the energy. And I was going there just to sweat it out, but I was working out like in here, just mm, like easy yoga flow or just walking. And that was enough for me to feel better, and incorporating breath work. And yeah, eventually your body is telling you like, oh, okay, you feel good for Pilates or for yoga or for something like that. Not so much of weightlifting, but I'm getting back to it. Um, what else? Yeah, just keep things in balance in the emotional aspect. All of those things that I was experiencing in my personal life got aligned super easy too, as soon as I changed my perspective. And and yeah, I'm so happy because everything come along and align, and I'm just so grateful from all this experience that I'm learning, and I'm going even deeper into it, and I'm preparing myself even more to support clients and people and whoever cross path with, so I'm excited for that. I'm doing ideology right now, and I'm learning about it, so just incorporating more um, to help others, basically. So that's how the 2025 was. I'm excited that it's ending. I'm just paying attention of what things I still needed to let go, and I'm excited to be in this empowerment, and the safety of it really comes along within. But I have to say it, with the masculine, it's it's completely different, in my experience, because you can integrate and we can mirror each other where we need support with. And yeah, I have experienced a lot of, um, I will say, the most beautiful aspects that a relationship can give you. And and it's reflected on my kids, and it's reflected on myself, and I'm just grateful, and yeah, super grateful.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I have a question. I was wondering, because you went through a lot last year and you faced it all head on, right? How was your cycle when you were going through all of this? Did it reflect the amount of
Yes,
stress and release you were
yes,
going through?
definitely. The color changed. Um, Even there was some kind of texture before and after my period that I was like, this color is not the regular one. And um, so it just gives you information. Your body's always telling you something. And yeah, I check out, and my iron levels are super low, or hemoglobin. And what else? My mood on at night, when I was experiencing, especially at night, I was like, I just need to rest. My mood was a little bit out of the wagon, and I'm like, this is not how I am. So there's something wrong. It's not something wrong, but there's something that I need to pay attention to and support my body and have the right minerals and the right amount of food and the right quality of sleep and rest, because your mind can be working or overworking sometimes, or just have the time to cry, to have a very good cry by yourself, or be in nature and grounded, or whatever it is, and just make it normal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love
It's
that.
Thank you, Sky.
As much as like I love that you shared that, because I know it was really hard for you, all that you went through. So thank
Was
you.
Jules,
Yeah.
was that last year you went paralysed? And was it last year?
Yeah, it was on June 1st.
Wow.
July
Okay.
1st. July 1st. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It was
recent.
it was the day, yeah, it was basically the day that I agreed with the custody of my kids, and half of my face got paralyzed, like right, like hours after. So the
Wow.
emotional can be really
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you are experiencing like there was a lot of stress before that. So all the magnesium, all these minerals that like they're depleted by the stress. If you're not paying attention, if you're not supplementing, if you're not eating the right things to support your body when you're going through those periods of time, because that's life. You're gonna go through very hard lessons or whatever it is. Or family is going through health opportunities or whatever. So if you're experiencing a lot of stress, I'll say check how are your minerals right now, because you're gonna be sucked by that. And yeah, magnesium, I'll say zinc, copper, which is iron, but basically some are those. It depends on what you're experiencing and what's your health history, and I mean, you can tell about it, but yeah, I will say the amount of stress really made the perfect storm for me to experience that with the emotional, and it just like half of my right, uh, like completely, the right face was paralyzed. I couldn't open my nostril. I couldn't close my mouth to eat or to drink water. I couldn't close my eye. Like nothing. I couldn't feel anything for a week. Then I started like, because I was in Florida when that happened. Um, and I came back. I started supplementing. I'm like, I'm gonna go to omega 3s also. Big part of it. But yeah. What else I was supplementing? Like with the food and with the best high quality that I was getting in, and mushrooms. Like there's some companies that are very clean, that are they're lab testing, and they work wonders. I can say.
Psilocybin or fresh like which mushrooms?
It's no, it's not the
Not psilocybin.
It's a mix. Yeah, no, I stay away
She's like,
from
well, check
them
it out.
at the moment, because I think my brain was like, "Hey, relax," but not that much. No, it's reishi, shisandra. It's a mix of 6 mushroom from the company Cultivate Elevate, and I also started drinking the pearl powder, and they're yeah, I drink from a different company, but they have an amazing high quality that is natural. It's not like lab made or whatever. So
I love
those,
mushrooms. I want to start incorporating more mushrooms, but I don't know a lot about mushrooms really. I just see what's in the supermarket, but
yeah,
then I don't really use them. I'm wondering maybe I could start bringing mushrooms into my diet.
yeah, those powders are amazing, because you can just add it to your smoothie or anything,
Mm.
and you can feel it how you can get the nourishment into your brain. And the tinctures that I am using are really good quality. I am like in the second week, so I'm gonna check how they go. But so far, we're loving it, and yeah, the traditional Chinese medicine. Uh, they have a lot of different type of mushrooms that I didn't know about before. Um, and it was just a blend for liver, heart, and circulation. And the acupuncture sessions really help. And I see now in my period, like I'm always on point. It didn't like move so much. Um, well, it moved from the full moon to the new moon a little bit, and yeah, I will say um, staying raw helped a lot, but definitely felt the call to nourish more, and 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 add supplements if it's needed, and just search for the one that are really clean, that are not going to be harming you, but as well test to what you really need. Don't be drinking just because, so this is on a trend or whatever. Like, no, just check what your body really needs, and support it in the most natural way you can, and clean or remove from your body what you need to remove. And if you want to do parasite clean, just make sure you have your elimination pathways really open. And yeah, I will say just check on how, what is your body telling you,
Mm.
and pause and breathe and love yourself.
Very
And
important. So, just
oh,
quickly about the Chinese medicine. Is that, did they say that raw was not good for you? Because a lot of Chinese medicine practitioners, that's what is been huge.
They really
They
don't
say,
interfere on what's your decision. They say, "Oh, you're eating super good. Just make sure you're eating enough." Da da da. It's more Ayurvedic, the ones that tell you eat warm,
okay.
specific periods of the day, especially lunch for people, which is like from 12 to 2. Like try to eat more warm food or more dense, and then more light. But it's dependent on your on
Constitution.
when you're, yes, like if your
Yeah.
dosha is like going to kappa or whatever you're experiencing, then you're
But it
nurturing.
doesn't necessarily mean I've got a friend who's doing the same, and she's now just having just warm. Like I said, we shared is in our call sky. Like it doesn't have to be hot. Like let it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't cook it. Just have warm. You can still have raw. I think there's a misconception that
Yes.
raw is cold, and it's it could be warm. We don't overheat it.
Yeah, you just don't need to have it cold, basically, and
Yeah.
don't change the temperature inside your body. You can have it warm. You can put it under the sun, whatever. Like, and that's enough. Just have it room temperature, and
Yeah, so
that's
Marcus and Cara did a video, I think it was just Marcus, on the fact that the food that people eat that's cooked at 200 degrees Celsius or whatever has to cool to about 45 to 40. Even by the time you finish a bowl of hot cooked soup, it is like down in the 30s. Like it's not what we perceive, like it's like what you do before it's put in front of you. We just do differently. You can still have, and I was like, I quote that all the time because it, if you want warm food, warm it up. I'm like, don't find reasons not to be raw. Find reasons to be raw.
yes,
yes.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it just, yeah, I can see, you can see that there's cultural also stuff in it. Because people, for example, in the Hindi tradition, like the dishes are delicious and it can be vegan or vegetarian mostly, but mostly vegan. And it's just the veggies and the curries, and they're just so yummy. It's just that they grew up thinking that you have to cook it and doing all this process in order to don't taste so much the ginger or whatever. It's just cultural. But I private chef for Indian families, and then sometimes I do it like this is my style of eating, and they're like, it tastes the same, and I'm like, yeah, it tastes the same because it's the same ingredients. It's just you just blend it and you got it, or you know things
I
like
love
that.
that.
Or for example, in Mexico, yeah, you can do a lot of things, and people are surprised, like, but it's, you don't even, like, you don't need the meat, and I'm like, no, because what you are tasting is all these spices, and you can do it in mushroom, you can do it in cauliflower, you can do it in this and that, and people are like, I never thought about it.
It
Or
tastes better. It's way nicer. The
I think it tastes better.
flavors. Yeah.
yeah.
Tastes amazing. I just had a run through of my brain was just throwing at me all memories of like raw food then, and your chili sauce just came flying up because I love that, and I was like, it's exactly chili sauce.
So good.
All right, Maribel, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, did you say, Dulcie, that you're studying iridology?
Yeah.
Is that the study of the eyes?
Yes.
Wow. How long have you been doing that? That's so interesting.
I am starting it. So I'm gonna be done by the summer, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
But
you'll be
I've
able.
always been interested in it. I have so many friends that do that, and for me, I always like to be looking at people's eyes. Like I'm so obsessed with it, and
Mhm.
when I didn't have the ability to move my face, I was like, okay, let me make these connections, because I was looking into the dental, to the root cause. I'm sure Lisa had a lot of knowledge this year too about it. So I was like, I'm gonna check what's going on and what is this nerve that is suppressed, which is the vagus nerve behind of it, and what is connected to it, and then the eye, because when I was going back to feeling my face, it wasn't just like, oh, I can feel my face, everything. No, it was these little nerves around my lips,
Mhm.
and then it was from the bottom to top, and but still the nose, I couldn't move my nostril for a period of time. But when I was able to hold a spoon or close my mouth in the right angle, because it was going all the way to one side, it was so interesting. So I just felt the call to go deep into what you can prevent, or the amount of information that you can get from iridology, just by analyzing it. That is not to give you any type of diagnosis or something, but it
Yeah.
gives you a lot of information about how's your body. Like, it's the window. For me, it's the window for your soul and your body,
Yes.
because
Mhm.
there's a lot of emotional stuff also that you can be
Mhm.
interpreting for the people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Lisa, what was your hormone health like 2025 and coming into 2026?
Well, well, well. Before I start, um, it's really cool that we are doing this today
Mhm.
because today is Chinese New Year. So we are moving, like, this is the day of the year of the fire horse starting. So happy Chinese New Year.
Woohoo!
Happy Chinese New Year. Happy Unicorn Year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that. Happy unicorn year.
I'm wearing red.
Oh, you are. Fire. It's the fire
Fire.
horse. Fire unicorn. Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because we've
Thank
been
you.
talking about it. I'm like, this is the perfect
Yes.
day
It's
to
the
do that.
day.
It's the
Yes.
day. So my 2025 was an interesting 2025, much like everyone. I think we all have had an interesting year. With my hormones, it was so I did the I for those of you who know, I co-organized the vegan health bundle that's going on right now. And I co-organized the ultimate raw vegan bundle that happens in May. So between the months of like January to mid-May is like busy season because I'm working on the back end, connecting with everybody, building the website, building my brand new content and all that stuff, and I spend a lot of time on that for everybody. And so toward like at the end of the raw vegan bundle, I was like burnt out. I had done so much for so many people and I was not necessarily neglecting myself, but I wasn't moving a lot. I was staying up late to try to like get everything done and all that stuff. I was obviously still raw, but there were other things in my life that really needed some attention. So after the bundle ended, the next day, Nate went to Oregon and he was in Oregon for about almost 2 months. It was supposed to be a 3-week trip, but it ended up being 2 months because he kept pushing it back. So I was at home by myself. And the first 2 weeks after the bundle ended, I did nothing. I was watching shows. I watched the whole entire series of Downton Abbey. And like, I was in like a hibernation mode, so to speak. And then on like June 1st or towards the end of May, I was like, I need to do something So I felt called to start walking. So I started walking a lot, and I wasn't wearing the weighted vest, as I've talked about this multiple times. The weighted vest is like my new favorite thing. 2025 really brought the weighted vest to like the forefront of my life. And I wasn't using a weighted vest in June. So in the entire month of June, I was just walking sometimes 2 to 3 hours a day. I was getting like on average anywhere from 15 to like 30,000 steps a day. And I would just walk and be outside and get the sun. And it was so nice. And I was going to bed at 9 o'clock, sometimes 8:30, waking up early. And it was just like getting myself back into like self-care, self-love, and that kind of thing. And I'm 46 now. So I'm kind of, I would say, I mean, if the average age of menopause on average is 51 to 52, I'm pretty much, I feel like I'm on the end half of the perimenopause, but I would say the age of 45. So 2025 was the year that I started to notice the most. Not that it was a lot of symptoms, but I could tell. And I could tell that my body was shifting. I didn't have any hot flashes or any, the typical symptoms of perimenopause. I didn't have any of that, but I had like a deep knowing that my hormones were changing, and I could tell that things were shifting. And of course I started shifting by, adding more exercise. I did notice that my mood, not like I'm pretty stable with my mood, but I could feel a little bit more emotional with stuff, like, just little things would just make me really emotional. So I noticed that. And I've also noticed that my cycles are short. Sometimes they're anywhere from 21 to 25 days right now, which is really frustrating. Overall, it's like every 3 weeks, I'm having a cycle, which is annoying. But it's kind of like my body is in that final stage where it's like, let's get them out, before the end. So I think they're gonna stay short for a little bit, and then they're gonna start to get long and far between. But yeah, they're around 21 to 25 days now. And when I went raw in 2014, I was 34, and for my whole adult life, since I started menstruating at 13, all of that time, I would go anywhere from 3 to 9 months without a period. So sometimes I will only have a couple of periods a year. But when I went raw, after about 8 months raw, my periods were clockwork. They were every 28 to 29 days for a decade. And it was super, super, super regular. So just in the last year, in 2025, maybe a little bit tail end of 2024, I started noticing that my periods were getting shorter and shorter. So that happened. And that's kind of where I'm like, okay, I need to like start really digging into the perimenopause thing. So 2025 was kind of more of a discovery year for me. So 25 was very discovery based. And I started doing that walking, and I would have like my backpack with weights. I would put like dumbbells in the bag, so I'd have weights, because I learned about the bone density thing, and that's like such a passion of mine right now. And in fact, in our school community for the month of March, we're going to be doing a bone density challenge. Kind of like every day we have a post and we have like a little activity. But Nate and we've decided this morning actually that we're going to commit to a minimum of 20,000 steps a day with our weighted vests. And that's going to be our March challenge. I know it's a lot. Not everyone can do that, but that's our challenge for ourselves. We're going to aim for 20,000 steps a day with the weighted vests, because, the vegan health bundle will be ending on February 22nd. Oh, and for those who want the bundle, I'm going to post it in the chat because Sky said I could, but it's not working. So it's not letting me put it in there. But that's okay.
Do you want to send it to me and I'll post it for you?
Oh,
Just
yes.
Instagram, and I'll cut and paste.
Okay, I'll do that. So I, once the bundle's over on February 22nd, then we have the time until the raw bundle. So we're just going to be really focused on, healing ourselves and staying more in that like self-care state that we strive to do it, but how life is. Life just gives you life, and things get busy. But we want to really strive to do that, because I don't want to have another 2025 where I'm burnt out at the end. So I really want to focus on that. And yeah, when Nate got back from Oregon, he was so impressed with all the walking that I had been doing that he bought us each a weighted vest. And that's when I started walking with the weighted vest. And the cool thing with the discovery of 2025 was I discovered that I can gain muscle mass just with walking with the weighted vest. I gained 2.6 pounds of muscle in about 4 months of the exercise. And most people, when they look in to a raw vegan diet, the standard, person out there thinks that there's no protein, you can't gain muscle, or you're sickly or weak or whatever. And that's not true. Like, you can definitely build muscle. And we tested with a DEXA scan, so we know, we have our test results. And I love that everyone here is talking about getting tested, because I agree. I think it's amazing to learn about what's going on in your body, your blood, your microbiome, your DEXA scan, your body composition, that kind of thing. Like, learning about what's going on, because there's not one diet or one version of raw diet, for example, that fits everybody. We're all so different. We all go through different phases, and we all need different things. And I like to think of raw as like the foundation, and then, your herbs, your supplements, or whatever else you need on top of that. It just builds up from the raw, right? You start with raw, and then you tweak it and make it your own from there. So much better than trying to fit into someone's box of what raw is supposed to be or whatever. So, working with where you're at and what you need and what your body needs, the stress levels. Like Dulce was talking about the magnesium, and I was like really resonating with that. I'm like, yeah, when you're stressed out, you need more magnesium. It's so important. And when I was working at the natural health industry store that I was at, the studies that we were looking at was like 97% of the population not only is deficient in fiber, but they're deficient in magnesium, and magnesium comes with fiber usually. So, if so many people are deficient in magnesium and so many people are walking around stressed out, it's no wonder that people or women who are going through perimenopause and menopause have so many issues, because our adrenal glands take over when our ovaries are like, they check out, they're retired. And our adrenal glands are like, okay, now we have to do it. They make like maybe 15% of the estrogen that we used to make when we were, more fertile. So our adrenal glands, if anybody knows what the adrenal glands are for who are watching, we know it's the stress gland, right? So it has to deal with the stress. And now it's got this extra work on top where it has to make the estrogen. And it's like our adrenal glands are just overstimulated, and our modern life just doesn't support women's cycles and the stage that we have to go through, the transition and all that. So magnesium, do supplements. Like I always say to people, I'm like, if you get tested and you need a supplement, there's no harm in taking it. You've got the raw diet down, add supplements if you have to. And so what happened with me was, over the summer, Nate had his dental problem. Like he had, the dentist was working on a filling that had gotten loose, and he was getting it refilled. And the tooth was so weak because he had that tooth worked on multiple times since he was a kid. So, it's not diet. That tooth was like, it should have been pulled. But the dentist was working on it and cracked the tooth down to the root, and the bacteria got into the root and caused an abscess. And the abscess was so bad. Like we were supposed to be catering a yoga retreat, and I ended up having to cater the entire retreat myself. And Nate was in bed the whole time, and he went to the ER 3 times, and they kept sending him home with like steroids and more antibiotics and pain meds and all that stuff. And they're like, just wait it out, should go down, whatever. And it didn't. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then on the final day, we're like, we have to leave early. So we left early, and we went to a different hospital that was about an hour away in Flagstaff. And they took him in immediately. They put him in for surgery immediately because it was life threatening. So they had to put him under. And we're going through all this stress. It's a crazy time. And I started consuming ashwagandha. It was an herbal blend, ashwagandha, shatavari, rhodiola, and a couple other things in there too. And that really helped me through all the stress, because a raw diet doesn't get rid of stress. It helps you through, but it doesn't get rid of life. We're still going to go through it. And if a raw diet is the foundation, then we can take other things on top of that with no shame. because I know a lot of people feel, differently about supplements, but I feel that they can be so helpful. And I'd rather see someone take a supplement and live a beautiful, thriving life than to stay struggling without the supplement because they're trying, again, to fit into a box of what someone thinks, like you shouldn't have supplements or whatever. And I think supplements are great. Herbs are amazing. They have so many amazing properties that can benefit us when we're in specific times in our life. So I started taking this blend it was like a hormonal mood support meant for stress support. And it's amazing. I still take it because I keep taking it because it's awesome. But adding other things like we had Tony and Dulce said iron. Iron, I think, is one of those things that we don't really think about too much when we're in perimenopause because, people think, oh, that's like a menstruating thing, women who are menstruating. And yeah, when you're in perimenopause, you're still menstruating, but it's like that iron just keeps getting depleted. And if we don't supplement with things to help us absorb more or eating more greens, like everyone, like greens are like, oh, like I just absorb savory stuff and it's totally okay to want to have the greens and everything. So I would say 2025 was definitely a year of discovery for me, discovering or listening more to my body and going through that burnout and experiencing all of that was very eye-opening for me because, for the first 5 or 6 years of my 40s, I didn't notice anything really. It was just, I was just breezing through. And then all of a sudden it was like 2025 was giving it to me and was like, you need to focus more on yourself and, support yourself a little bit better beyond the diet. Cause the diet is just one factor, right? There's so many other things. And yes, Nate and I focus on, getting good quality sleep and getting our movement in and all that, but it's really about balance in the life. And sometimes, you get those days that you just don't do the things. But yeah, so 2025 would be the year of discovery for me. And then 2026 or today, since it's the new year of the fire horse, to this year, I'm focusing on strength. That's my kind of word. Oh, my word for 2026 is actually indulge. And I came up with that like in January and I'm like, I want to indulge more in life, not the indulge that we think of like, eating chocolates or chips or, laying on the couch kind of indulge, like, most of society thinks of that word, but I want to more indulge in things in life, like indulge in nature, indulge in the raw food, indulge in, whatever that's healthy, right? Indulge in my red light therapy. Like when I'm doing it or when I'm doing my skincare, just like to indulge it. So I always like think of that word. But for the hormone for the year of the fire horse, I want it to be about strength. That's why Nate and I want to do the 20,000 steps with the weighted vest. We've been wearing our weighted vest going on hikes lately. And that's been like it's improved my hiking tremendously. I would say that's like the number one thing that's improved my hiking is wearing the weighted vest, just walking around the city. So that's there. I also want to really work on lymphatic this year as well, like a lot more rebounding, more dry brushing, more like, self massage in the collarbone area, that kind of thing. So yeah, so strength would be my 2026. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. I also am so grateful you shared about your you needing to take time after the bundle because I feel like I look up to you a lot, and I know a lot of people do in the community, and people have this misconception that people just keep going. Like when you look up to somebody and I just have so like, even I love you to the moon and back, but like, it's just, thank you for sharing that because it brings it back and reminder that no matter what you do, there's times where we just need to stop.
For sure. I know. I hear that all the time. They're like, there must be, like Kiko says it often. She'll be like, there must be a carbon copy of Lissa
in your pocket.
And Nate says that too. He's like, I say the same thing. There must be a carbon copy, but I just have such a passion to create and share. And it's like nonstop for me. It's what I want to, it's kind of like what I was born to do, I feel like. And I was born at 11:11 a.m. as well, which is
wow, that's so special. Oh
I mean, that's Mountain Central Time. So, but yeah, I was born at that time, and so like I feel like I have like this this deep need to share and create and inspire others and everything. So I do feel I have back in the day when I was doing photography full time, I was a freelance photographer. I did like boudoir, weddings, newborns, couples, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was really fun. I did it for about 12 years. I had my own business in Canada. It was thriving and everything. And I closed it when I moved to the United States because I didn't need to do that anymore. And I chose to focus fully on raw food romance. And so, but back then it was really interesting to see, like how much I still put into everything that I did. And I did notice like different kinds of like burnout phases and stuff like that when I was still doing the photography. So I really have to like rein it in a little bit and focus more on stuff like, like I want to do more painting and more art and more stuff like that. But it's challenging because I have so many things that I want to create. I have so many ebooks that I want to build and so many recipes I want to experiment with. And I run the bundles and all that stuff. So it's a lot that goes on. But yeah, it really is about balance. So I was going to say something about the high functioning anxiety. When I was doing the photography, I did some testing, not like through like medical, but just, like tests and stuff that they have for people who might like have high functioning anxiety. And I ticked all the boxes. So with high functioning anxiety, you have anxiety, but you keep going through it because that quiets the anxiety. So you just like you just do, and you overdo and you over deliver and you do all that kind of stuff to like quiet the anxiety that might be sitting there. So when you are quiet, you're like, I have to do something. I need to be doing something. So over the years, I've really like I'd say the last 5 years since I've been with Nate, really, I've really been like working on letting some stuff go and just being more quiet. And that's why I wanted the word indulge for this year, is because I really want to just like absorb the moment a little bit more, because time just goes by like it just disappears. So I want to really like absorb the time I have. So thank you, Sky.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the thing people don't realize or don't think about them, and they might be like, oh, I want to do like the influencer thing or start sharing online, is essentially people want to see your life 7 days a week. So you do have, even when you, like, I know you do your hiking and self-care on the weekend, but you're still recording, you're still posting, you're still writing posts. And so to switch off completely is a skill set in itself, but very important, because otherwise it's not sustainable sharing.
Yeah, that's so true. There's like when we do I'm just getting that link for you, Sky. I'm gonna put it in the chat here. When we do those the hiking videos, and it's part of the fun. And I've had a lot of people who will say something like, I'll be on vacation and I'm taking pictures of everything. And they're like, why don't you just live in the moment? And I'm like, taking pictures is me living in the moment. I get to like see it on the screen, and I love the creativity of it and all that stuff. So to me, that's part of the enjoyment. I don't feel like it's a distraction or anything. So when we are hiking and we're filming, that's so fun. Like we just have such a blast doing that. And like I'd mentioned earlier before we went live, I have 5 hiking, what I eat in a day hiking videos coming out on YouTube starting tomorrow. So February 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. There's what I eat in a day hiking videos. And so we've been filming those over the last couple months. Anytime we go out, we film where we go, what we eat, and I talk in some of them, share a little kind of thoughts and insight. But yeah, the hiking videos are so much fun. And Sky just shared in the chat for the vegan health bundle that I co-organized with Chef AJ. That's running until February 22nd. So if anyone wanted to grab that, we have some new ebooks in there. Like, again, we do so much. I like made a 300-page ebook talking about raw vegan culinary techniques, like, wet chopping and kindlizing and blending and freeze drying and dehydrating and all fermenting and sprouting, all kinds of stuff in there. Any technique that we use, I shared in that book. But yeah, like I need balance.
But you can use them to indulge in yourself, Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's all open your book. You're gonna make yourself beautiful fermented food and wet chop your salad, and it sounds like fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have go for it, dolls?
I wanted to, I forgot to mention one of the, it's not herb, it's saffron.
Yeah.
It really helps for whenever you want to have a moment to release all the emotional stuff that you're carrying, and just to sip it at night or whatever time you want. Tony, I will suggest to try it and see how you feel, or whoever is watching. It just like makes you feel safe, and I don't know, it's something that helps me to release. And yeah, you can just have it, good quality one, or there's some supplements that they have it added just because how it helps with your nervous system too. I just forgot to mention that. And magnesium salts, to take a bath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There's actually been people who have been able to get off their SSRIs because of saffron, and just taking 2 strands. I posted on my story, just take 2 strands. Someone was saying do it in water, but everyone messaged me like, you just eat them. Just take your 2 strands. You have to do it consistently, and it builds up over time. So
Amazing.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
2 strands.
Wow.
So simple.
Yeah.
That's it. Does anyone else want to ask Lisa anything?
No, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Such an
Thank
inspiration.
you.
Thank you. Aw.
But I would like to hear you, Sky, too.
Yes,
Okay,
Sky
hang on.
turn.
We'll save
Yes.
questions for the end. Sorry. Okay. Wow. So hormone-wise, it was massive for me last year. Now, I had a full hysterectomy at 30. I'm now this year 45. So my year of being 44, once I had the hysterectomy, and that's a long story in itself, but I had to have it for my health. I've been through a lot in my life, and one of the most horrendous things to experience is anytime you lose your mental health. I lose myself. And when I came off the back of having that hysterectomy, I'd already been in bed for 5 years. I'd been on massive amounts of painkillers. I'd had most of my 60 surgeries at that stage. But having my hormones ripped in my prime age, so it was like the whole universe, I was already going through it, just switched off. It was like, and I was on at that time things like antidepressants, ADHD medication. So my brain was already being highly stimulated. No, everything completely switched off within 2 months. So it's not something like most women go through for over an extended period of up to say 10 years. It was like instant. And if I was to describe it to anybody, it was like we take for granted that we get someone might say, oh, that's white and that's red and that flower's pink. But we take for granted that it actually gives us more than that. There's like a vibration that we see, and it's not even a woo-woo thing. It's like this, I love that, or why you love it. That just goes. And I've been depressed in my life where that's more, for me, it feels different. It feels like instantly the whole universe just switched off. So I was put on quite a high dose. And if you know my story, I had like a second piece of uterus. So my brain was quite mapped heavily for estrogen receptors. So I needed a higher amount of hormone replacement. Once they got it right, I mean, my normal was very different to most people's because I was still sick, but everything switched back on. And if you speak to my parents, I was never really depressed until I fractured my reality, I think because I got sick so young. But the hormone story is then for the next almost 10 years, I was on hormone replacement, the same dose. If I ever used a different brand or a different amount, my whole world kind of crumbled. I couldn't function. And I went on raw foods, and I was getting so many mast cell and histamine reactions, I had to let go of the hormones. Now, in hindsight, what I know that the reason I did raw food, I basically did fruitarian for 2 years. And you can do that for a little bit, but I ended up with a whole heap of problems like blood sugar issues. I wasn't having salt, I had a sodium deficiency. Eventually, because I wasn't having greens, my iron crashed. But if you eat that lightly, you can feel almost high or light, basically. As I said, you could probably do it for a period like I did, but you will end up with problems. And that, I think, offset the fact that I'd let go of my hormones. Okay. So now I'm needing greens and nuts like crazy, but every time I have more than juice, I'm getting a whole cascade of like depression. I'm noticing my skin is aging very fast. I'm noticing my joints are getting stiff. I'm noticing this ongoing fatigue. Now, at the end of 2024 into 25, it was on that New Year's, I had tried the hormones again, massive mast cell flare-ups. Eventually, on a lot of greens, I managed to get them back in. I was also at this time craving caffeine and salt, and there's something else. So I've had the past year, every morning I get up and have a matcha. I was craving massive amounts of salt, and I was craving estrogen. And this, to me, hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? So I'm getting the hormones in, but I'm still feeling tired. And essentially, I think that's why I'm craving salt. I'm needing another iron infusion because off the back of all the fruit, and I'm getting that all regulated. But on this raw diet, and this is why I love all of you, but I love that Liz is always prefacing, get checked and take what you need. And also there's things that we need to take on this raw diet or make sure you eat enough of. And I had never prioritized iodine or selenium. Now we're talking about hormone health here, and I'm talking about estrogen and losing my ovaries and my uterus and my cervix and that whole area, but I had never looked after my thyroid. And you have what's called a HPA axis in the body. So the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal axis is why we move, it's why we eat, it's why we sleep, it's why we wake up. If you have something wrong in especially your thyroid area, especially the pituitary, hypothalamus, and adrenals, but usually what happens is people have thyroid issues or they have hormonal issues, which will play into this axis where I'm overeating, putting on weight, and then I'm constipated because it regulates the bowel movement. I'm constantly tired because it regulates weight and sleep. Interesting. I love how intelligent my body is, craving things that stimulate this system to get me back online. But once I finally, at the end of the year, put in regularly, because I had a blood test and now I'm hypothyroidism is showing in the blood test, but I know from my body, and especially having 8 organs already removed, how much having something sluggish in the body will play a part. So even before it's dropped, I was having these massive problems. So once I got that blood test, I was like, right, I did it's a iodine fort spray every day for almost 2 months while doing 2 scoops of a month I did that. Then a month after that, I started the CMOS and eased back on the iodine. I really felt like I needed to, because I have no digestive system. So even though it was a spray in the mouth, I know I don't absorb things that well. So I'm like, I will do this while trying to consistently now. I want to do the CMOS, which has the iodine, and I make sure I try and do like kelp noodles more and nori sheets. But the CMOS is, I think, what's really changed I wanted to grow my hair and I was hoping it would help, but it's really changed my life. And I make sure every single day I have 2, sometimes I have 3 Brazil nuts, depending on the size, every day for the past 2.5 months. And I think there's an extra month there of the spray of the iodine. Now, I haven't been tested again yet because I want to give it another month. I've had a lot of blood tests last year and I don't believe in overdoing it. So I want to give it about another month. But what I have noticed in this past 3 weeks is my histamine reactions. And if your thyroid is out, you will have this irregular immune system has subsided. I can get some fruit back in because I had to do keto for a period because every time my blood sugar changed, I had this terrible response. So that has settled. The biggest notice physically for me is I have had thinning bald patches, which is a huge sign of hypothyroidism, is thinning hair. That's all come back. My bowel is moving a lot better. I'm not so fatigued. I've stopped having matcha. Like if I have one, I guess I have one, but I noticed about 3 weeks ago, I stopped thinking of salt and matcha and worrying about because my hormones feeling they're too much, they're too low. It was just, I was in a schmozzle. So I have learnt a lot. through this experience. But I will preface that on a raw diet, unless you're having the seaweed and you're having selenium, it is hard to look after your thyroid. And I feel like I am just going to keep cruising with what I'm doing with the into this year. And it's so nice to not be like consumed by cravings as well, like that. And cravings are not that you're a bad person or you haven't detoxed enough. Your body needs something. Like in that moment, it needs something. And I've never craved like I need hamburgers and pizza and all this type of stuff. These were just things that essentially still fit into the raw diet, but why? And I've always been a big person on this, but and that came from a blood test finally showing it and me working on it. So hormones are not always sex hormones, guys. You know, the reason you eat and wake up, it's all hormone regulation. So that's me.
Oh, I love that you mentioned that about the selenium with the hair, because when I was doing research for something that I was doing, the selenium, I know there's a lot of raw foodies who don't think about selenium. Like they think that it's available in, you know, whatever they're eating. And it is, there's small traces amounts of it, but it's not enough for a daily thing. And over time we get deficient and stuff if we're not consciously adding these things in. And hair loss is one of the symptoms of selenium deficiency.
Yeah.
So yeah, selenium, I mean, a Brazil nut.
Yeah, just one a day, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's made such a difference. And I think the other thing that comes up for me is how we have to relearn, I guess, when we go on this journey, that nothing was ever supposed to be instant. There is no instant gratification. The reason I am satisfied, happy, and whole is because I work on myself and work on my life every single day. And it's not that I just had it and it was fixed. I have been so consistent every day doing it, not skipping, because in the past with CMOS, I've made a batch and then left it. And then noticed my biggest thing I always notice is my hair gets really, really thick. But I then let it go. And I was like, I have to do this. And the payoff, although I say I started on New Year's Day with the challenge I did, I'd actually been pretty consistent with 2 scoops every day in December. And you probably don't have to do 2 scoops. I don't have a stomach. So, and I just know that one was kind of midway for me. So this seems to be working, but yeah.
That's amazing. I don't know. Yeah. 1 tablespoon is usually of the gel is usually what they say is a good amount. But for you, I mean, again, it's all like intuitive. We got to do what we got to do. And consistency. Oh my God.
Yes.
Consistency is the key to everything in life.
Yes.
It is. I think when you get something like that and you become, your thyroid not working makes you stressed. You know, you're behind the 8 ball on, like, you're kind of sluggish. So your adrenals are trying to pick up and stress you through things. So you want something to be fixed. But I don't even think I was aware of how deep I got into it until it starts releasing. And then I'm like, it all just comes together as to, and I haven't had a blood test yet, but I have been working on it, I'd say for 2.5 months, possibly longer. And all the symptoms have subsided. So that's making me really happy and I just want to keep working on me. And I love this indulge that Liz is talking about, because I feel like that's why I stay raw. I indulge. I like to make my recipes. I love to go for walks. I love to go for swimming. Now, old Sky never thought these things were indulgement. Me now, this is like, lots of indulgement.
Exactly. I know. I love that you love that too, because it really brings the simple moments into focus more, because you're like, for example, Nate and I will go up to the hot tub for like 5 minutes, and it's like I get in there and I'm just like, I'm going to indulge in 5 minutes, and it's like it's better than it was in the past, because you go into it with the intention of indulging, or if we have like the same salad that we eat all the time, or the sushi is in the bundle, the sushi book,
you guys.
to get more nori into your life, for the thyroid. But like when I'm eating it, I'm just like taste, like I'm finally like not allowing myself, because I've always allowed myself, but now I'm like more intentionally focused on really fully indulging in everything in my life. And it's so much nicer.
Yeah.
I love that. Because, yeah, life is teaching us how to really appreciate more and live more intentionally. And I think the also the other part of that is how grateful you can feel from all these lessons that you have, and proud of yourself of the consistency that we all apply to our daily life for our future, because we just want to have a healthy life and just enjoy the now moment. And I think that the way that you love yourself and take care of yourself is going to be reflected in the future, and with the people that is surrounding you, asking you for more recipes, or for the people that are buying in the bundle, which is amazing. And even for the animals that you take care, Tony, like everybody is doing something, and it's just reflecting in our surroundings. And I love that.
Oh,
Yeah. Does anyone else want to say anything? We've gone a bit over here. I tried to do an hour and a half. Does anyone?
oh, look at what Nate got me.
Oh, let me bring you up. Hang on, let me
Yum.
bring you up on the main screen. I want to see.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh. So in the bundle, Nate just brought it for me because
Nate,
he's
bring
like,
me
here,
one.
you deserve a snack. Oh, let's indulge in some date.
Oh,
It's yeah. So this is the chocolate brownie recipe from Amanda Sick in the bundle.
Yum.
So he made it and he brought me a piece. I'm like, oh,
Yum.
hang on.
Nay, we're 5 here.
oh, I
We
would
want
give
some too.
all of you.
Oh,
Yay.
It looks so delicious.
It looks, yeah.
oh. Yeah, does anyone else? There was one question. Do we have time or do we have to go?
We could have time for a quick one.
Just
I
the
think.
hot flashes. There's lots of messages, beautiful messages here saying thanks and hello and
Aw.
yeah, and then this, if anyone wants to.
Hot flashes, like from my viewpoint, I would the first thing that came to, I know everyone's going to have their thoughts so we can get a more well-rounded, but the first thing that popped into my head, you know, that download feeling you have, you're like, I have to say this.
Yeah.
Fenugreek sprouts.
Oh.
Fenugreek sprouts, like a cup a day, I've heard. And I personally, that's another thing that I added into my day in 2025. I forgot to mention that, and I still do. Fenugreek sprouts are so amazing for hormone support, and maca powder as well. Those can be helpful for hot flashes. But I want to hear what you guys say too.
Oh, hang on. Before we go on, there is studies. There is journal studies here on fenugreek and the good effect on menopausal symptoms, the meta-analysis, systematic. Hang on. It's bringing up a whole lot of stuff. Let me bring up just a summary. Symptoms in perimenopause. It works due to the high content of phytoestrogen, specifically diogesin, which can mimic estrogen in the body and help balance hormonal flushes. So, yeah,
fenugreek seed sprouts, and they're so good. Oh my gosh, they're like, to me, they're like soft and like gentle. They feel very kind, I guess. Is a word. But like when I pick them up and put them in my salad, they're just so soft and like slippery and beautiful, and they taste like a mix of celery and maple.
Yum.
So, they're so delicious. They're probably
so
my favorite
refreshing.
sprout.
And you can eat the fenugreek seeds just like that, and just super refreshing.
Oh, they're so good.
And good for digestion too.
I took fenugreek supplements when I was breastfeeding, and then I smelled like maple syrup.
Oh, really?
Totally. Yeah, you do. Your scent is a little bit more maple. It's like a mix of maple and celery. It's got like that little metallicness to it, but it's also mapley. It's cool. I don't mind smelling like it because I actually like it.
Oh my god, yeah, it helps with when you're lactating a lot. So glad you had it. I was thinking on fenugreek seeds and also fennel. Why I was thinking of fennel. Fennel seeds are the ones for digestion. Never mind. But fenugreek, you can have it on the salad. You can. I think you need to hydrate the seeds if you're gonna have it just like that.
So the fenugreek seeds are probably one of the easiest ones to sprout, and you don't have to get little long tails. Like if you soak the seeds overnight and let them sprout for 24 hours, they're ready to go. Like
Yeah.
they're so easy to make and they're so fast.
I need to
Yes.
do this. I do.
Mm.
Someone actually brought up saffron again, and yes, saffron here. Saffron is effective natural remedy for managing menopause symptoms, particularly for improving mood, reducing anxiety, and decreasing hot flashes. I feel like I've actually got saffron up there. I hardly use it but I will. Obviously, I've already said to myself, I've set the intention. I've actually now got to set the intention to action and take the 2 every day. I feel the calling.
Yes. Yeah.
On a side note, for the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle in May, I am working on a raw vegan perimenopause ebook.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
exciting.
So I'm going to have
Yay.
recipes with fenugreek seed, sprouts, and saffron, and some of the other like high iron ones and magnesium rich, and all the stuff to help support.
Ooh.
Obviously, it doesn't get rid of everything for everybody. I'm not into the absolutes, but it's a great support. So I want to kind of share that with the weighted vest and movement and breath work and all that stuff. So that's what I'm working on for the raw bundle.
Oh,
There
that's
are going to be
great. That's a good
people
one.
out there that are happy for that.
Yeah.
That definitely. With the hot flashes, I would first, I don't know what your diet's like, but if I was to go back and realize the power of diet is just whether you go whole foods, plant-based, high raw, I would look at, and I don't know what you're eating. That would be huge.
Noi is raw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in our community. Yeah.
Oh,
awesome. She's one of
welcome.
our favorites.
Oh, okay. Well, then ignore that. But everyone else listening, you should change your diet if that hasn't been. Does anyone else want to talk on hot flushes? Did you get any when you went through it, Marabella? When you started into peri?
I didn't, but I also went raw at the same time, I feel like. So I feel like the raw really helps. And I started with a green juice every day. And I really think that's like so cooling to your system. And I didn't have for a long time, I did years and years of no bread anyway. So I think not having bread products too, doing the greens every day, I really think the greens helped me a lot. Like my mood and just feeling good in my body. That would be my suggestion, is just maybe up your greens a little more, because I just feel like they're so cooling to your system and so calming, and that would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
I love that. I was going to say also that, so hormone flushes actually, because we think we go into I didn't go into like everyone else, but we think that we go into perimenopause and our hormones just drop off, which isn't true. You get massive surges and you get like heart palpitations. So it's irregular. And so I would suggest maca or adaptogens or even mushrooms, because you are then going to regulate the glands or the organs, as opposed to trying to put in just phytoestrogens or which is all good, but they would, in my mind, and I can't speak from experience because I did have them. They were horrendous. Take a fan. So I was put into chemically induced menopause before my hysterectomy. That's how they knew that was stopped all my pain. And it was like I was, but I went, but also it wasn't a slow thing. It was stopped. It was like castration type thing. It just instant. So it wasn't very pleasant. Yeah.
I will suggest just work more on the lymphatic system, like do the big 6 and do movement, but intentionally, just to put the pressure on those the less pressure points that we have in our body, that we don't touch or move as regular as the others, and then do the activity that you enjoy the most, and hydration with that, so you can flush and remove what it's needed to be out of your body, and I think that helps for everything. Just working on your lymphatic system, and you can do it for yourself. Like, you don't need to go to get a massage, but if you can, that will be amazing. If not, just work on your 6 pressure points, and and then do the activity that you enjoy the most, as movement, rebounding, vibrational plate, if you are hydrating well, and that will be my suggestion.
Thank you.
This was wonderful, Sky.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
really
so
was.
glad. Thank you all so much. The more I do this, the more I'm like in awe of how each person brings like their own little package, and I just love it.
I love it
Guys.
too.
Oh, so that's it, guys, for this week. We'll be back next month. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, all, ladies here, for sharing, and see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.